All the time. God is awesome.
All the time.
God is awesome. I just want to first and foremost thank God for the breath of life this morning. It's always a blessing to wake up and see your loved ones again.
Amen.
The rest I have to share is from Psalm 127, verse 1 and 2. If you have a Bible, please open up to it.
Hallelujah.
Psalm 127, verse 1 and 2.
Amen.
I just ask if who can please read the Tongan version.
Psalm 127, verse 1 to 5.
1, 2.
Same te awawhitu ngai same raki ki hono wa. O peha no whalea, kai langa e sihova e whare, koe ongosia e kauranga, koe kura noa pe. Kai le ohi e sihova ai koro, o atu ngā pe ai tangata le o. Koe kura noa ho mo ahingi, ho mo mohe tuai, ho mo kai, ai mā o e ongosia, he ne whuak te tau pe ki hono ofa ngā, kai mohe pe ia.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah.
In the English version, it says, unless the Lord builds the house, they labor in vain who build it. Unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he gives his beloved sleep. This verse means to me that in everything we try and do within our own strength and without God is in vain.
Yeah.
Says in the first verse, unless the Lord builds the house, I would like to use a father figure as an example, or a husband. In a family, the father is the head of the family, and any father can build a house, he can build a family, he can do everything in his strength to
Amen.
provide and protect his family.
Amen, Lord.
But unless the father makes God the head of his family, not the father the head of his family, but God, unless the father makes God the head of his family, then all his efforts in building and providing for his family will be in vain, and he will end up in frustration. Any father figure can build a family, but it takes God to build a strong family, a family who remains strong in him regardless of what happens in this world.
Amen.
Another example could be Noah. Noah knew he had to build an ark, but he could have never done it without God.
Amen. Yeah, amen.
Though Noah looked silly to the world, but because he obeyed God, his steps were ordered from the Lord, and God guided Noah and gave him the instructions on how to build the ark. Noah was able to finish the work, and his labor wasn't in vain.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Same things apply to us. Unless we make the Lord the head of our lives, the head of our family, our ministry, then everything we do will not succeed without God.
Yes. Amen, Lord.
The second part, it says, unless the Lord guards the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. The guards can do everything in their strength to stay awake and guard the city. But the best guardian is God and his angels.
Amen.
Amen.
This doesn't mean that the builder should neglect his duty as a builder. This doesn't mean that the watchman should neglect his duty as a watchman. They can do everything in their strength to build a house, to guard a city. But unless God brings forth his power, Unless he is the one doing the job, then the laboring is in vain.
Yes. Amen, Lord God.
In the second verse it says, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he gives to his beloved sleep. Some people rise up early, some people stay up late, working. Many put their trust in their work and they begin to become anxious because they rely on themselves and not on God. Especially in this time with coronavirus, we are going through this time where people have lost their jobs. People are now panicking. They don't know how to survive, how to provide for their family. So maybe some of them might stay up late trying to figure out a solution. Maybe they're trying to wake up early because they're so very anxious they can't rest. But a man who puts his trust in God is able to find rest in God. Yes, it's a good thing to always prepare, but not to a point when you're anxious and fighting over toilet paper and that. A man who trusts in God finds peace in him even in the midst of all this chaos, because they know that God is bigger than anything they've seen. That is all that I have to encourage you all this morning. Life is tough because the God that we serve is a victorious God, and because he lives in us, we are able to face tomorrow. There will be problems along the way, but as long as we make God the head of everything that we do, as long as we put God first in our lives, in our family, in our ministry, then God will take us through to the very end, and he will complete what he has started in us. Like he promised in Philippians 1:6, being confident on this very thing, that he who has begun a good work in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.